In this video, we're going to look at whether NVDA is a buying opportunity here or if this move is likely done. In 2024, if we look at this chart, just change it to percent, NVIDIA was up almost 100% year to date in 2024 before it started this latest correction. And the amount that it's already gone, it's already dropped off 13.6%. That could be significant. Basically, this should be very near the bottom of this pullback if we're going to continue higher based on the history over the last couple years. So if we go back to the start of 2023, we had this drop and then we rallied 66%. And notice this pullback, 11.4% before it started to move higher again and then went up 105%. This next rally, under 12% again before it started going higher, and then we ran up 28%. This time when it pulled back 16%, that ultimately ended up in choppy trading. And that continued for months. In 2024, we had this big run up, 66% off this 11% pullback. This pullback only 11%, and then it continued higher. So this is already bigger than these pullbacks we saw where the uptrend continued. So that's important because when we get these bigger pullbacks, it either means this pullback gets deeper and bigger, or it, like this one, 26%. So it either just continues and gets bigger, or we end up getting choppy trading. And choppy trading just means very little progress above the recent high. If we go back to, regular, then we had this last high at, you can see the prices up here, $974. So that was the recent high. Choppy trading would indicate that we just kind of whip around in here like we did back in late 2023 through the last half of 2023. We dropped and we got a little bit above prior highs, but it really couldn't make much progress until it ultimately broke out. And interestingly, we saw one of those smaller pullbacks once again prior to this big run up. So under 12% seems to be the mark where the price either starts going up or we get choppy trading or a bigger pullback. So we're already over that mark. So I would really want to see this move up quickly to indicate that this uptrend is still going to go on. Otherwise, I would expect maybe some consolidating or a bigger drop here. Overall, the stock still looks pretty good. This is Stock Rover. It's a fundamental search engine just to kind of look at how things are doing. Fundamentally, the stock is pretty strong. Earnings per share have increased 48% per year over the last 5 years. Analysts are expecting an average of 36% EPS growth over the next 5 years. That's 36% per year. Morningstar giving it an A in terms of financial health. That's the best you can get. And it's been really strong in terms of its yearly stock performance, outpacing the S&P 500 by 57% a year on average over the last 10 years. That's in terms of annualized return. PE, pretty high right now. It's set at 67.6. But if we look at forward PE, that's future estimated earnings, it drops to 28.7. So that's looking at 2026 earnings. So obviously when we're looking at forward PE, there is some, I guess, a little bit more speculation, you could say, in terms that they'll actually be able to achieve those numbers. They could come in higher, they could come in lower, and that would affect that forward PE value. In terms of another one we could look at in terms of its current valuation, PEG forward is basically price to earnings, which accounts for this number, the 5-year growth estimate. So it's a little bit longer term outlook than forward PE. Forward PE right now, where NVIDIA is in its, so we're looking out to 2026 for that one, and this would be over the next 5 years. And basically a value of 1 means the stock is fairly valued currently. If it's below 1, that means it's potentially undervalued. If it's over 1, that means the stock could be overvalued. Again, it's just one metric we could use. But it's right at 1, saying this stock right now is fairly valued based on the earnings growth. So that's something else we could look in, which may indicate we may get some of that choppy trading. Some of the big hedge funds and stuff may want to see some of those earnings come in before continuing to buy this up. It's had a great run already over the last couple years. It was trading down at about $150 in early 2023, almost got up to 1,000, so it's had a really big run already. So if there still could be some upside left in this, but a lot of the move and this anticipation of higher earnings has already been priced in, and so that's something to keep in mind. But mainly watching this pullback to see if we start heading higher from here, could be still in the good. We already are a little bit bigger than ideal on this pullback, but if we started heading up, that could be a good sign. If we continue to head lower, then we're likely in that scenario where it's going to be choppy, or that pullback's going to continue and get a bit deeper.